We're
Yeah.
live.
How are you, Hill?
I am holding up in my fortress of solitude in Wiesbaden.
Oops, sorry.
How is it going?
So far, it's a bit slower than it's been in the past. Um, I'm using this time more just to be family oriented, and there's no real DJ stuff out there for the occasional uh, request to do a few sets. Yeah, like my kiddos, right?
Hi, Penny.
Penny, you want to say hello?
Hello.
Wave? Wave at the camera? All right. She's been waiting all day to do that.
Cute.
Yeah, just looking through these little questions, and I guess I would say that my name's Hill Cardwell. I come from Austin, Texas, and been DJing in this area for 4 or 5 years now. And I have to thank Yannick Altschuler for his support and kind of motivating me to get back in the game locally all those years ago.
Yannick from Marmal Langzam.
Yes, Yannick from Magmalon. And McCallis, too. They both do Oriental Tropical. Yeah, I've been doing this a long time, I guess since 1996, 97. I'm kind of like old school raver. And then now I've just modified myself into being more of a dance music historian, trying to focus on lost and found disco sounds or even the techno rarities that are out there. So that's kind of the set that'll be tonight. It's kind of a mix of some classic stuff or different takes, and hopefully something fresh and interesting and original, which is what I'm always trying to be doing if I'm playing, doing my DJ style, which I did at Dorett for several years, and I think everyone had a good time. Always good music. So.
How do you find your sounds?
At the moment, it's not been a good year. it's tough. I think some of the difficult things for me is I'm also trying to manage a record store business in Wiesbaden. Always a tough job to do, no matter what. And then coupled with the pandemic, we finally kind of got the business off the ground, and then the pandemic hit in March. So it was like kind of really frustrating. But it's been eye-opening in seeing how a business has to work and operate in the Mainz Wiesbaden area, the challenges, and also I think those challenges are even 4 or 5 more fold on the gastronomy side. So I've been in contact with a lot of local businesses, restaurants, and whatnot too, just to hear what's going on with them. Sometimes you can get strategy or information from them as to how to make our side survive better. Now, we aren't based with food or entertainment, so I think being in that kind of business realm has given us more survivability. But it's tough everywhere.
Yeah. How's the name of the shop?
The store is Plattenbox Wiesbaden. So Plattenbox at this moment is the only kind of real record store in our area. I'm not knocking Andy Dukes' store. He kind of focuses on the dance stuff. But we're a proper secondhand store. We do have some of the top 40 big box stuff that Saturn would have, but we cater to lots of secondhand used stuff. It's a pretty large collection that I maintain and curate. So it's in 29 Dotheimer Straße, Wiesbaden. Yeah.
Okay. And we will play after that this DJ set that we recorded together on the 1st of June. June,
I think.
June. Have you been like DJing some stuff like until then?
There's been a
how is it as a DJ right now, or
it's non-existent almost. If anything, I'm trying to stay on top of music I look for when I can. I do have some opportunities with being in the store collection to find fun stuff here and there, but I've had a few people ask. Linda at Bar Heaven was asking some DJs to support before the second soft lockdown hit. So,
have you played there?
I did. I did play a set like a month ago, and there's been other DJs going through there. It's all kind of pro bono work. It's just to try and support her business and get some attention. I played at Barone when we were still outside months back, and there's been just little things here and there. If anything, it's been a bit more eye-opening. I would say that how much it's not that important. And I know that other DJs might not agree with that, but at the end of the day, it's allowed me to spend a lot more time with more important things like my family.
Yeah, but myself. You have a family.
Yeah, I do. Well, yeah, I'm in a different age bracket than some people, I guess. So,
you're not that older than me.
You're just I'm not that much older.
You're just 2 years older than me.
Yeah. So that's kind of where my focus has been a little bit more of. Unfortunately, it's a difficult to kind of focus on actual music production and things like that, just because there are so many other things going on with the other side of my life. So you had asked a question earlier about people that I know in this world. Hold on, Penny's bugging me. Penny, come on, come here. Okay, she now she's gonna be goofy. All right.
It's Corona too.
Yeah. Do you have any clue or how is it like in the US right now? Like, because we know that it's here worse. It's everything.
It's actually a lot worse. It's a lot worse because instead of trying to follow science, there became a lot of disinformation, and they politicized the virus too. So, unlike Europe, what I would say about the US is that a lot of DJs that I know personally, they don't do this as a primary job. They're always 2 or 3 jobs. A lot of them work in gastronomy, bartending, things like that. But I'm not going to name drop, but the bigger names that I know, I think have been hit really, really hard. Some governments, like the U.S. government, doesn't really support or help them. There's really no kind of social blanket that can kind of support them. And the ones that I know in Germany or the UK, do have some kind of support, but some of these guys relied on touring all over the world.
So you mean the clubs are closing there? And
yeah, I think that's one of the scary things to think about in, say, the next 2 years is how many clubs or areas, not just our area, but just worldwide, are just not coming back. They're just not gonna be there. I know personally in Austin, there's a very kind of locally famous club called Plush that was our nexus for dance music and that culture, and it has endured so much, and it's been there since the late 90s, and it had to close this year, and that was like a pretty massive blow in Austin for the nightlife. So
how big was the club?
It's pretty small. It's actually smaller than Dorett. It's kind of a hole in the wall, but it's seriously kind of tinier. But it just was the nexus point for all the electronic sounds, and it was a different variety of sounds. So every night would be something different. You'd have a jungle night, a house night, dubstep before it turned into EDM trash. Austin was one of the very early American cities to have a dubstep scene between San Francisco and like Baltimore. That was like mid-2000s. There's been all sorts of interesting people that have played there. Ellen Alien has played there. I saw her play there in a rainstorm with water leaking over the turntables. There's been a South by Southwest would hit, and you'd have all sorts of artists that would play through there. But I mean, they had to lock up and close, so that hit a lot of the community hard. Other artists that I know, like they're unable to tour. Their incomes are based on being able to tour or play, Fabric in London or some big club in Japan or whatever. And if anything, they've been stuck at home or in their studios and they're working on music and whatnot. So I think if things can get going, they'll come out of it. But, you know, it's kind of difficult to teach some DJ who's been a world famous guy for 25 years, you know, and he's, you know, let's say 47. And it's like, yeah, learn to code, you know. You know, that guy didn't want to learn to code. He wanted to be a electronic musician or artist or whatever. So some of them have been branching out into different stuff, like trying to do scoring or soundtracks, or some people I know have tried to get in with video games to make sound effects and things like that with certain video games. So
that's a pretty cool idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can land it. I mean, those jobs are... Austin, Texas, for example, has that infrastructure. San Francisco has that infrastructure, or Seattle. But a lot of other cities don't have those opportunities. But being a musician is just tough in general. For me as a DJ, I see myself a little bit more as an entertainer. So I look at this job as providing entertainment for people. I know some people want to say, oh, I'm an artist, or, you know, well, come on, let's be real. Like, your job is to get asses moving. So, you know, do your art stuff when you want. But, you know, for me, in a market like Wiesbaden or Mainz, I want to get people dancing and having fun. So I look at the job a little bit different.
I think it's a choice also, like to be a professional musician or DJ, or to have a job and do it like for fun.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm speaking also from just a different perspective at you know, entering my mid-40s than when let's say I was 20 and everyone wanted to be Paul Oakenfold and play big festivals.
Yeah, but when we were in our 20s. If we wanted to be if you wanted to be famous, you have to do music, or to be now if you want to be famous, you just have to have a show on YouTube, or to make what we are doing right now.
You just need to unwrap toys all day long on YouTube, and you'll have 10 million kids watching your video, and they can cash for you.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like now, it doesn't, like you don't have to learn to be a musician, like to be famous. Like you have so much to do with like one click, and to just manage to be online in a sense.
I had an interesting conversation with a friend of mine from Dallas, Texas. Just about the quality of modern dance music or electronic music, techno, versus.
I think it's got better.
Well, we were talking about like why you have certain tracks that come out of the '90s and they're so iconic and influential, and then nowadays there's a lot of material, but it might not be as substantial. And I had a kind of a long talk with him about it. He's not running a record label anymore, but. His idea was that because of technology, you've gotten so many more people access. Now, the theory, like say behind Behringer instruments or something, is that you're going to have cheaper instruments in the hands of so many other people, and you're going to have a lot more. Excuse me?
Behringer are doing great stuff right now.
I'm not going to talk about like what they're doing, but I'm just saying you're going to get a lot of Their idea is we're going to get a lot of these, iconic synthesizers in the hands of people for cheap, and then therefore you're going to have this huge renaissance of great artistry. But I don't think it's quite, and my opinion is that sometimes, people can have a lot of access to that stuff, but then it's kind of like the quality of what they're doing is kind of a lot more simpler than, say, a certain person that sat down with 3 or 4 pieces of gear and just completely learned them front to back, and then was able to turn out something a lot more complicated. I mean, you could throw names like Aphex Twin out there just as an example. Yeah. Different animal, but anyway. But it's just it's been interesting to see. Now that's kind of what I would like to see in 2021 is like, okay, all these people have been sitting at home. Everyone claims to be working on stuff, and they're going to have things ready. Or some of them are doing it now, but I know a few people that have pretty large projects that are waiting for the next year to put them out. So I'm a little bit interested to see what next year will bring if there's been so many people locked away and hopefully being productive. So that could be one interesting thing that comes out of this. I know you've been doing that, so
Yeah, I was not like very creative during this time because I hadn't had the choice to be like to put myself into this like creative quarantine. I didn't have the choice, so I it was like I was supposed to be creative, so I have like some pressure, and
and then you end up with a block
and like luckily when I started to work again, I've been more creative. It comes again
because you had the choice.
Because I had the choice to put myself like into a creative spirit.
Yeah, I had a conversation with a friend just the other day. He checked in. Hey, how are you doing? How are you doing? And he's doing a lot of studio work. And he said, to be honest, he's like, I've been really busy with studio projects the last few months. So he's been busy, which is good because he's one of those guys that has to tour the world to make cash. So he started to say, yeah, I've actually been really, really productive in the last 2 months. So maybe it's been this shock from February, March till I would say the fall, as to like just what the hell is going on. And I think now that, it sucks that at least Europe is back into a harder style of lockdown, but help is on the way. Got to trust in the scientists, and everyone's just got to kind of suck it up and get through it. And I don't know, it's just how things are, you just can't.
Yeah.
Just gotta sit back and deal with it. So.
And yeah. And what do you miss the most? I think actually with all this period, is it like playing, or is like maybe also traveling because you weren't able to go back to the US to see your family also?
Yeah, there was talk recently that I might have to go for family reasons, but my home is kind of here, and my friends are kind of here. I mean, I have my friends back home and whatnot, but my world and my circle is over here. So I feel like I'm at home. I feel like I'm with my family already. But I would say the thing, what I miss is just seeing seeing your faces, seeing the regulars, seeing people come out, and just people having a good time, getting able, finding music that like is totally unusual and different, and then saying, all right, let's see how these people react to it,
For that Dorett bar was great actually for DJ, because lots of people are not coming for the DJ or for the music, and it's like a very good audience to catch actually. I think
exactly.
So.
I think that's the energy that I really miss. I miss, there's a lot of friends. I keep in contact with people, but it's also it's just time-wise with what I'm doing in my world, it's just difficult to get into mine and go see everybody. And then sometimes people come over here, but Wiesbaden doesn't, Wiesbaden's not popping like mine used to be. But yeah, just missing the camaraderie and all the crews and all the faces, and just seeing familiar people that maybe I don't know, and they just come up and say, "Oh man, it's good to see you playing again," or it's "Oh man, you played such and such record." Little things like that, I am not the person that does this for ego, and anyone that's been around me should know that and know how vocal I can be about that. So I'm there to have a good time, and I want other people to have a good time, and I want to play good music at the same time. I want it to really be something special and unique that stands out. That's really what it's about if I'm going to play records. I want people to walk in and be like, man, I don't know what's going on here, but this sounds cool as shit, and I want to stay here. So
yeah, that's what I meant.
I miss that opportunity.
Yeah. Oh, let's hope that it's coming back soon.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
Right
I think so. I think. I mean, if there's something, for those that know me, I was a sports coach. So, people are probably waiting, here I'm going to do some motivational speech and tell you to drop and give me 20 or something. But if anything, just please believe in science. I grew up in a scientific household, and I have a lot of friends that work in research and biology and chemistry, and somehow people have not been getting the proper skills to challenge or question things scientifically. They're questioning things based on whatever the freaking internet tells them. So
I think it's a state of mind, like to question everything is not like scientifically. I think like
I don't think it empowers you to just you got to use some kind of empirical argument to come up with things, but that's the thing.
I think it's the other way around. I think like when you have the skill to ask yourself things, you are interested in science, but it's not. Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, in situations like this, you got to trust science. Crystals aren't going to heal you from this shit. You're not going to cast a magic spell and the shit's going to go away. So, I just what I like. People come in the store and they're always curious about my opinion about how the U.S. is versus what's going on over here, and it's just insane to me that the strongest empire in the world's history has been completely crippled because of.
Well, this year we've got a really shitty year for the U.S.
That's also going on in the background with me. It's like all the background radiation from all that evil is out there too. So it's kind of a double thing for me. It's like, my friends and family are affected by not only the pandemic stuff, but the political situations there as well. So it's been a rough in that regard. But if anything, just hold on to the science. Things are going to get better by next year. The caveat that I would give though is, we shit our pants so hard on a virus like this. What the hell happens when something comes through that kills 20% of the population and you got bodies stacked like cordwood outside? So people can barely handle something this difficult. God help us if something like that comes through. So, and that it's still probably going to be in our lifetime. So it's still around the corner. So use this as an example of okay, just get your shit together and be tough and make it through, because it can always be worse. Maybe I'm from the generation that knows bad things. Thinking that you're going to get vaporized by nuclear weapons every night. That kind of does something to you when you grow up. So, kids have it too easy these days. These young kids. I don't know. We're going to be okay. I'm more concerned though for the gastro side of things, because there really hasn't been any kind of talk or that I know of. How we'll bail out Lufthansa, but how are they financially going to help out a lot of the nightlife and restaurants just across the board? So that is concerning. So I hope you guys can pull through. So.
Yeah, me too. And I have a last question for you. We want to try to bring some positivity in our interviews, and we want people to ask or to say something positive about 2020. If you have
about 2020.
About 2020.
Okay.
It's a really hard question.
It's a hard question, but I think it's I think it's something.
I have an easy answer, but it's too easy. I'll type it to you later. I would say if there's something that's good that's come out of 2020, I don't know about for me, or maybe I'm speaking in general, is realizing what the important things are to you and to those around you. For me, it's a lot clearer, at least personally, on my own path, my own journey, knowing what's important to me and what matters became a lot clearer this year. So Yeah, so being more selfless, less selfishness, more selflessness, and trying to help people around you. Less hate, more love. Always better for the world. Yeah.
That's something very positive.
Yes.
Yeah. Things like this are positive to me. Yeah. Hey, what grade did you get on your German test?
1.
You got a 1?
Yeah.
Way.
Oh, wait a second.
Give a clap. Hey. All right.
Okay. So we talked like almost half an hour now. So thank you for your time. It was very nice to speak with you. I hope we will have some time like together, like not digital and more private.
Yeah. I need to plan to come into mines and just walk around and see people. So every time I'm there, it's like a kind of a sneak attack. It's like I show up and I say hi somewhere and then I'm back in Wiesbaden or something. But I need to make a trip in. Maybe when the stupid bus strike is over. The buses aren't working. I wouldn't even be able to get to mines today if I wanted to. So.
Yeah. Okay. We will play your set now from June.
Yay! Cool.
Do you remember it?
Enjoy it. I completely train wreck a Heiko MSO track. So I don't know. Just ignore that. But anyway,
we will ignore it.
Yeah, you probably be like, "What the hell is that?" All right, but it's in there. It's recorded for history. All right.
I'm glad you made it. Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye, guys.